All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes with you. We're going to go over who DuePoint is, what we're all about, and then after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country. So let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint is a division of Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Better turn this on. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We were founded in 1952, so we're nearly 70 years old. That's the head office, Constantia's head office in the background. They're just down the road here in Randburg. That's the branding that they use. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. That's very important. We're obviously regulated by the Financial Services Board. You'll notice in the foyer we've got all our Financial Services Board licenses on display. So go take a look at those. Those are our stamp of credibility. We've got a long and short-term insurance license and investment license. Our FSP license is on display, and we've also got our accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. So I trust you need to be very comfortable with the business we're going to be speaking about. You need to trust the business that we're going to be speaking about. So you're welcome to go do a background check on us. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. The managers and executives here at DuePoint are these characters up on screen, starting with the first three who are registered chartered accountants. Brendan is our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services. His family have been involved in insurance for 50 years and very successfully so. Him and his brother founded Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD. Their father founded Clientele Life and the IFA. They've started numerous businesses around the world and had a lot of success in the financial services space. So some great insurance and financial pedigree in Brendan. Tim and Stacey, they look after the auditing and the financial aspects of our business. Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years in a fairly senior position where he reported directly to the board of directors there. Stacey, she's worked in auditing all her career. She was with Deloitte. She worked in South Africa as well as overseas in Luxembourg in Europe before she joined the team. And then myself and Jane. Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing or network marketing. She's from the UK. She's been in South Africa for almost a decade now, but she brings very important experience to our business because even though we're an insurance company, our growth is very much dependent on our ability to work in the network marketing space. And so Jane brings that international experience to the team. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 20 years. Someone's phone's not on silent. For over 20 years. I ran my own agency for 15 years. And we operated very much in the financial services space. So that's the team. Our mandate as staff at DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us in this business. So we want to see you as effective and as happy as possible in this business. We can only be profitable as a company if you guys are doing your jobs well in this business, and so we do everything to support you in that endeavor. Okay, so that's a bit of background on us and the business. There's more information on the website if you'd like to go look at that. I'm going to briefly discuss the negative circumstances that we find ourselves in, because I think this is what drives people to come look for something extra, right? So I'm going to gloss over it quickly because we don't want to spend too much time on the negative stuff of our lives. You already know what's negative in your own life. We look at the economy. The economy is a really big driving factor because what's happening at the moment is we've got very high interest and inflation, astronomical food inflation that doesn't seem to be coming down. And what's happening is that our salaries aren't keeping up with what inflation's rising at every year. So you can ask yourself the question, well, in the last 6-7 years, has your salary been increased in line with inflation every year? So have you got a 5-6-7% increase in your salary every year for the last 7 years? And the majority of us, almost like 100% of us, can answer no to that question. That's a problem because we're not keeping up with what the cost of living is every month, and we make the problem worse by turning to debt to try and remedy the situation. We are criticized constantly by economists saying that we spend too much money and we engage too much in debt instruments rather than saving and in investment products. And that issue exacerbates itself towards retirement, because retirement, that's when your income ends. And you're going to be forced to ask yourself the question, what have I done in the last 40, 45 years to secure myself a dignified retirement? And unfortunately, the statistics that we see show that only about 90 or only about 3% of the population retires financially independent. The rest of us, 97% of us, will get to the position where we have our income chopped off at retirement, but we don't have any means to survive. So we're forced to either downgrade our lifestyles, we have to go look for a job again, we depend on family and children to support us. Or you start depending on a government grant. Who can live on 2,000 Rand a month, right? It's ridiculous. And it's certainly a circumstance that we don't want people in our business to be faced with. And so the opportunity today is to change that circumstance for yourselves, because you can ask yourself the question today, what does my retirement look like based on what I'm doing currently? What does it look like when I get there? And for a majority of us, it's a bleak picture. And so out of all of that negativity, we as a business saw an opportunity to create a platform for the average South African to engage in. We call it the DuePoint system. It was launched almost 2 years ago now, so we're almost 2 years old. Fairly young, I guess. We're still babies. But we have 3 aspirations in mind for the people in this business, because even though you're here to create additional income for yourself, income or money is just a means to an end. And the end for us, we have these 3 aspirations. Number 1, we want to see people in our business become debt-free. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible, right? As a first goal for yourself, as a target, get rid of your debt completely, because it empowers you to the second aspiration, and that is to create wealth. I assume everyone in this room wants to be wealthy. You can't be wealthy if you owe other people money. Right? So we get rid of our debt, then we start creating wealth. We do that through owning assets that appreciate or investments that appreciate, right? But you have to buy those first. And then the third aspiration happens on its own, because if you're debt-free and you're only creating wealth, right, you are happier. That's the third aspiration, the ultimate aspiration. It's just to change our circumstance. So we're not stressed at the end of the month. We're not stressed through December and January. We're not stressed when you get the bill from the school to see what school fees are. You're not stressed when you go, I like the school down the road because it's better than the one my kid's at now, and you find out that it costs twice the price. Right? All these things. Unfortunately, money solves a lot of the problems in our lives, maybe 95% of them, and that's what we want to address. So you can align yourself with those aspirations. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. But our guests here today, you've got the opportunity to join DuePoint. You'll contract with us. And once you've contracted with us, we'll call you wealth engineers. That's what we call the people in this business, wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, you only have to do one thing, and that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. Right? I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like. That's what we're going to be primarily focused on. It's basically you just introducing people to us. And through our online platform, that platform will facilitate the sale of products to the people that you introduce to us. And that's how this business works. In a nutshell, explained very simply in 2 sentences, the benefit for you is that you get to create additional income for yourselves over and above your salary. The nature of the income is recurring. So some people refer to it as passive income. My father refers to it as being able to make money while you sleep. That's a great term, isn't it? I'm just thinking about that kind of makes me happy. Make money while I sleep. Damn, that would be a great position to be in. But it's something that's actually inherent to insurance companies. So we have something called the book value. The book value creates recurring or passive income. And this is something that you guys get to share in the benefit. We harness the power of duplication. So when you go out and build these channels of distribution, you're going to go find other people to collaborate with you. Right? You're going to find other like-minded individuals that are also taken by this opportunity, and they join you in your business. They're going to collaborate with you. This is where the leverage comes in, because you benefit out of their effort. So if you're on your own, and let's say you're spending an hour a day in this business, and you remain on your own, right? That's an hour a day that you get to spend in the business, and you're limited by that. But because of the leverage we built into the system, you can go out and find 10, 20 other people. And if all 20 are spending an hour a day in the business, now suddenly you've got 21 hours being invested into this business on a daily basis. So that is leverage, right? You want to take advantage of that. It frees you of time constraint. The business is flexi time. You get to choose when you want to do this business. It is completely up to you. This is a volunteer business, unfortunately for me, because I would love to give some wealth engineers a written warning every now and again. But I cannot. It's a volunteer business. You have to keep yourself accountable to engaging in this business. I can't force you to do the business, right? So I'll warn you, if you want to be successful in this business, you've got to do it when you don't feel like it. We are at the time of the year when everyone's making New Year's resolutions. And how long do New Year's resolutions last? Please don't treat this business as a New Year's resolution, right? It is something that can change your life very quickly. I hope you deal with it, you treat it with that kind of importance. There's no startup capital in our business. We don't have a registration fee to join as a wealth engineer. We don't have boxes of product that you have to buy and invest to get started in this business. So we make the business as risk-free, right, to make it accessible to as many people as possible. There's no qualifications or experience required, so that's notable because we work within the financial services space, and there are a lot of qualification and experience obligation that needs to be met to work in financial services. But cleverly what we've done is we've contracted you out of that obligation so you can enjoy the benefit of being involved in financial services without that worry, right? So no one brought their CVs today, right? Exactly. You don't have to worry about the CVs. I'm interested in work ethic. I'm not interested in your background and your experience. You get to build an asset in this business, so this is very important because if I'm going to ask you to sacrifice time, your precious time, into this business, know that the asset that you're building in this business, this channel of distribution that you're building, you have ownership over it. So you're building something you own, right? In our jobs, in employment, we don't do that at all. Yet we'll spend a lifetime working for somebody else, building up someone else's asset, with really nothing to show for it at the end. You don't retire and go, oh, look at all the shares I have in my business, we've done so well. Right? You don't get to partake typically in that upside as employees. In this business, know that the time you invest in here is going into an asset that you own. It'll carry on paying you beyond retirement. It'll carry on paying you even if you are infirm and lying in bed, it'll carry on paying you. Once you die, that value will still be there and it'll carry on paying your beneficiaries. You can leave your channel of distribution in your will as part of your estate. And so my hope is that wealth engineers will pass this generational wealth onto their kids, onto their grandchildren, instead of debt, right? Okay. There's no selling involved. So this is great, because I know that the majority of us don't like to sell, right? Who wants to sell to their friends on the weekends or family, right? Gives you the shivers just thinking about it. So there's no selling involved. It's one of those things that we actually contract you out of, that obligation. We say, no, you don't speak about our products, you don't sell our products in this business. All you're going to be doing is going out and connecting people to the business opportunity, right? You're going to say, do you want to make money? Not do you want to buy a product. Do you want to make money? Are you interested in getting involved in a business like this? That's what you're going to be doing. The nature of our product means we don't have stock and distribution issues. This is another great thing, because typically if you're dealing with stock, you would have to go buy all this product at the outset, right? You'd have to make this investment in product, pay for it cash, bring your uncle's bucky, load all your product onto the bucky, go home, look for space at home, worry that it expires, right? Don't have any of those issues. So we make the product as convenient as possible for people to engage in. But your success in this business is very much dependent on your ability to build these channels of distribution. So I told you I was going to show you what it looks like. It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer, and you are going to go out and, like I said, you're going to tell people about the business opportunity. And there will be people that will connect with this business opportunity. They will see the power, the opportunity that exists here at DuePoint. And so they will join in your channel and start collaborating with you. They will start doing the same thing you're doing. They also want to empower themselves. They want to change their circumstance, and they will go out and bring other people into your channel, right? And this is where the power duplication starts to take place, because you'll have this organic growth that takes place in your business. This is leverage, right? Because every single person here is collaborating with you. We're all doing the same thing here at DuePoint. We're not working against each other. We're not in competition with each other. We're all working with the same goal in mind, to your benefit, right? So this is what your channel of distribution can look like after some time. You're getting paid a recurring income for every single dot that you see on the screen. And that's where we want to get to. We want to build a quality, sustainable business so that one day we know we can depend on the income that we're generating at DuePoint. And that empowers you to do so many things. You can go on a 3-month holiday with your kids and know that DuePoint's going to pay you an income. You will get to retirement and not be worried, because you know, even once you're retired, DuePoint will still pay you. Right? So this is the position we want to get to ourselves in. This is building a channel of distribution. This is what it looks like. This is our warning slide, our disclaimer slide. Some people might assume that this is a get-rich-quick scheme or one of these schemes. I know there's a lot floating around South Africa. We're not one of those. We're a 70-year-old business. We have been around successfully in the space, a very regulated space, for nearly 7 decades. We've got very reputable individuals involved in this business, and at the same time, we'll never promise anybody in this business that you can be successful easily. Right? In a pyramid scheme, they say, oh, just put money here, find some people, and then we double your money next week. Right? That's a proper pyramid scheme. We're not one of those. Here, this is an authentic business opportunity, an entrepreneurial opportunity, and it requires work. And that's why we've geared the business to support you in that endeavor, because we want to see you effective when you invest time into this business, so that we can see you and ourselves as being successful in this business. So it's not a scheme, and you're not going to make money quickly, right? But we create recurring income, and I'll show you what effect that can have on your life very quickly and in the long term. So there are 2 ways to earn in our business. One is through the returns program, and one is through the rewards program. So the returns program is what we pay you every month. It's the recurring income that you create. So this is the returns program. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. So remember the previous slide with all those dots? Right? That represents product and wealth engineers in your business that you get paid for. So we pay R27.50 for every product, but it's dependent on where the product lies. So the first people that you introduce to the business lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you, and on the table you see we pay you double the R27.50 for every product on your first point. Right? And that's every month. We pay you every month for that because it's recurring income that you're creating. The second point, these are when the people you introduced go out and introduce other people, and again we pay you 55 Rand. On the third point, you see the multiplier steadily starts to drop all the way down to the 8th point. But what's important to note in our business is that we don't limit you in this business. So from point 8 onwards into infinity, we've already got wealth engineers that are close to point 30 in their channels, right? So massive slide. I mean, the previous slide only showed up to point 8. So imagine your business now at point 30. We carry on paying you from point 8 into infinity. We don't limit you at point 8. You will keep earning the 4% from point 8 onwards. We don't limit you on how big that channel can get, and we're never going to limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Right? So always the accountability lies on your shoulders. What do you want to do with this business? So this is the mechanics of the returns. Then what we did was we went out and built a projection of potentially what people could earn in this business over time, because that's generally the question people want to know. How much money can I earn in this business? So we built this thing called the Path to Success. It is a projection over the next 5 years. Right? So picture your life now over the next 5 years. It is based on a premise. The premise is a growth formula. It assumes that as a new wealth engineer, you can come into the business and in your first month bring 3 people onto your first point. Right? The month after that, you only have to bring in 2 people. And consecutively, month on month, you just keep bringing 2. So it's just 3 in the first month and then 2 every consecutive month. We call it the 3+2 growth formula. If you can follow that growth formula, after about 6 months, you could be earning around about 2,500 Rand a month in recurring income. Now, I think most people aren't impressed with that kind of projection. Is anyone happy? Is anyone disappointed by 2,500 Rand after 6 months of work? No? You think you would love it if I gave you the 2,500 Rand now in cash. But if you are working for 6 months, month on month, week on week, bringing 2 people into the business every week, would you be happy with 2,500 Rand after 6 months? You don't think so? Okay, so now this is my opportunity to change the way you think about money. Right? Because what we're doing in this business is we're creating recurring income, and there is massive power around recurring income as opposed to once-off income. So look here. Here's an example of someone with R1 million debt. I assume everyone in this room has got debt of some sort, right? So remember, our first aspiration was pay your debt off as quickly as possible. So why do we aspire to that? Because when you have debt in your life, you are on the wrong side of compound interest. The bank is always on the correct side of compound interest, right? That's why banks don't typically go out of business. We want to be on the same side as the bank, so we need to get rid of our debt quickly. So I'm going to illustrate to you the power of it. So here's a person with R1 million bond, right? They enter a bond agreement at prime +2. You're paying 11,500 Rand to the bank for 20 years. 20 years, 11,500 Rand every single month while you pay this house off plus interest. But you join DuePoint, and 6 months later you're earning 2,500 Rand in recurring income. Now your choice always is to spend the money or to invest the money. Paying off your debt is investing money. It's the same thing, right? If you decide to pay your debt off faster, you will pay that bond off in nearly half the time. Instead of spending 20 years at 11,500 rand a month, you pay 14,000 rand a month, you'll pay the bond off after 11.6 years. So if I do it from the age of 40, instead of waiting until I'm 60 to pay my house off, I can pay my house off at the age of 51. It saves me in interest. Now listen to this. It saves me nearly 1 million rand in interest repayments. I've saved myself effectively nearly 1 million rand with 2,500 rand a month. Do you see how much money the bank makes out of us in terms of interest? Right? If you pay it off faster, you pay less interest. After 12 months, you've created for yourself nearly 100,000, actually over 100,000 rand in annual recurring income. Now, I want you to picture this in your lives. You just had Christmas. Who would have liked a 100,000 rand check just before Christmas this year? Okay? The day before Christmas. How much would your wife or husband love you if you came back with a 100,000 rand check just before Christmas? A lot more than they currently do, right? Exactly. Keep going. At 24 months, you're at nearly 30,000 rand a month. Right? Now, that's jumped very quickly because even if you're earning 200,000 rand a month, an extra 30,000 rand a month is notable. At 36 months, you're at nearly 50,000 rand a month. Here at the 30-month mark, you're earning about 36,000 rand. Here's an example of someone with a 5 million rand bond. Now again, you have the decision. Do you spend the 36,000 rand every month? Or do you invest the 36,000 rand every month? For me, and all the wealth engineers know, that I would have a moment of weakness because I know I can buy a 2 million rand Porsche and that would cost me about 36,000 rand a month to pay off. Who pays that kind of money every month on a car? There are many, eh? You drive around Sandton, everyone seems to be driving a sports car here in Sandton. But if I invest the money, I could pay that 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years. Instead of taking 20 years, I'll do it in less than 7. At the age of 47, I've paid my house off. So I start to invest more. I buy another property and I pay that off at the age of 54. I buy a third property and I pay that off at the age of 61. I now own 15 million rand in property assets. I've created 15 million rand in wealth for myself instead of just spending the money. We have to make the decision 20 years before we get to enjoy the fruit of that decision. Because in that moment of weakness, I know if I buy the Porsche today, my friends will think I'm successful. Right? Oh, and I just like Porsches. My uncle took me for a drive in a Porsche when I was about 5 years old, and I haven't been able to shake it off yet. One day, guys, build the wealth first, get rid of the debt. At 48 months, we're close to 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, 5 years away, you've created about 1 million rand in annual recurring income. Now imagine 1 million rand check every Christmas. What would that do to your family? 1 million rand. Do you even believe it, that it can be possible? Do you believe it? Yeah. Or you don't? Or it's fantastical. You just think, I don't know. Maybe if I get closer, I'll start to believe it. But if you tell me now that in 60 months' time, you have the potential to be earning 1 million rand extra a year. We've got wealth engineers already on their way there. They've proven to themselves in the last 20 months or so that they're on their way to getting to that target. Superseding it, right? Because we've got wealth engineers every month that we bring up onto stage and we say, please tell us your story because you've shown so much success in the business. So here's Nick and Shani. They joined in on the 8th of September in 2016. They've been doing less than 3 plus 2 every month, right? So you ask yourself the question, well, would I give up? At 10 months, if it took me 10 months to get to 2,500 rand, would I give up? Is this time I'm spending in the business worth my time? And again, this is my opportunity to get you to think differently about money. Because when you get to retirement, you're going to look in your investment or your pension fund or whatever it is, and you're going to look at how much money you saved in the last 40 to 45 years. Because that's going to tell you how much interest that investment is going to pay you out every month. That is how you're going to survive retirement, right? So here, they've created 2,500, close to 2,500 rand a month. How much money do you need to have in your bank account to get 2,500 rand in interest every month? You need 500,000 rand in cash in your bank account. 500,000, right? So double that, you need 1 million to generate 5,000 rand a month. They've done that in the space of 10 months. They, by equivalent, have saved R500,000 for themselves. We have to think about money differently, because I know if you go out and spend this, you don't get much for it, right? How many grocery bags can you get at Checkers or at Woolworths for R2,500? See, that's the problem. We keep associating money with its spend value instead of its wealth value or its investment value. Right? So I want us to think about money differently. Here's Jack, he's been around for a year. By November, so it took him 11 months to get to over 8,000 Rand a month. Don Landon in PE also joined last December, or the December before. Took him 11 months to generate over 11,000 a month. So over R1 million equivalent sitting in a bank account that's generating this money for him, right? Motloit Sona from Free State, she joined in April. May, June, July, 5,000 Rand. So the previous example was 2 million Rand, right? This is 2 million Rand, equivalent of having 2 million Rand sitting in a bank account. How many of us are saving towards 2 million Rand in our retirement funds? So to give you an idea of that, right, because if you go visit a financial advisor, they will say to you, well, how much money do you need to retire with? So if you say to them, well, I need, let's say, R1 million, right? So that because I need 5,000 Rand a month. I mean, who even can survive on 5,000 Rand a month once they retire? But as an example, you'll need R1 million. So the financial advisor will say, okay, for you to save R1 million, this is how much money you need to save. If you are anyone under the age of 25 in the room, none of us? Oh, it's all too late for all of us. Right? If you're under the age of 25 and you save for 40 years, so your entire working career, you put 800 Rand a month into an investment every single month. And every year you increase that contribution by inflation. So typically 7-8% every year. You do it for 40 years, you'll have R1 million in your bank account. And that'll pay you out 5,000 Rand a month, and you can enjoy your golden years in retirement. Can anyone live a dignified existence with 5,000 Rand a month? Guys, that's a difficult question. What are you doing today to change that? Because if you're not on track, I don't see your jobs or the economy suddenly changing drastically where your circumstances suddenly going to improve. Right? We've got thousands of wealth engineers joining this business every single month that are creating additional income streams for themselves, trying to change their destinies, their circumstances for themselves. Right? It's available for everybody in this room. This is our returns program. This is what you create on a recurring, a monthly basis. There's a second way to earn, that's through our XP Rewards program. This is like an incentive program. Right? It's a bit of fun along the way. So we reward you for the success that you have in our business. When you start engaging in typical activity of wealth engineers, like coming to presentations like this, you bring guests with you, you log in, you'll see everyone scanning themselves in whenever they come here. When you watch training, when you attend training tomorrow, you get XP points for all of these things. All these activities, there's about 20 of them that afford you XP. We even got a great one here. If you can get your boss to sign up as a wealth engineer, we will give you, I think, 5,000 or 10,000 XP. 10,000, see? They know. Right? Get your boss to join. So you collect this XP, right? Experience points. And as you start collecting more XP and your business starts to grow, which is the product, your channel of distribution, when those two things start gaining momentum, you start ranking up in our rewards program. So at rank 1, or to get to rank 1, you need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. When you meet those 2 criteria, you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and we give you an extra 55 Rand once off. Just once off. So you can go, I don't know, what can you buy? Slice of cake at the restaurant and celebrate early success. Right? It's important to celebrate small successes. But as you start to get more XP and your business starts to grow, you rank up. And there is a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you. There's a 50,000 Rand check. You can buy a lot of cake with 50,000 Rand, right? We give tools to our wealth engineers to help them build their channels more efficiently and more effectively. So here at rank 5, we give everybody a Lightning USB stick. There's a little device that plugs into cell phones, tablets, computers, laptops, TVs. It plugs into anything, right? We've got all our video collateral on there. So Patrick and Pumi can show anyone the DuePoint opportunity regardless of what device is around them. At rank 7, we get these premium business cards manufactured. They cost us 12,500 Rand a set. One set of business cards. You get 1,000 cards. They're 4 times thicker than a normal business card. They're gold around the edges. The logo's in gold. There's no ink on the business card. None. We spend all this amount of money on business cards because it's going to help you build your channel more effectively. Because when you put a 12,500 rand business card on the table, when you're telling someone about DuePoint, I promise you they're going to take more notice about this DuePoint business that you're trying to tell them about. Right? These are opportunities to gain a few more minutes to explain to somebody what the business is all about. At rank 9, this is actually a recurring reward. So at rank 9, we will take you and your family every single year going forward to our international conference, which is 7 days away at a 5-star luxury resort, and we fly business class every time. You won't spend a cent while you're away on this 5-star luxury conference. So take a look, because we've just come back from our first rank 9 conference. So a lot of people are wondering, well, what's this conference going to be like? Well, take a look what it was like.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun, where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Mm. 11 months away. 11 months away till our next rank 9 trip. So you've got 11 months, or take 11 months to 12 months, 23 months to our 2019 rank 9 conference. We're going every year. You can take as long as you want. You can do it in as short a time as you want. You get to decide every morning what you're doing that day. At rank 11, we spent R250,000 rand buying our wealth engineers a brand new car. No debit order at the end of the month. Right? How much closer are you to becoming debt-free when the car you're driving is for free? When you fly business class on holiday every single year and it's for free? When you're earning recurring income from DuePoint every single month? Life-changing. So this is our rewards program. It goes up to rank 28. We're at rank 11. 28. What happens at 28? go to heaven. There we go. We can only hope, right? We can only hope. Okay, go and then come back. Just a visit. Okay, we've got a third way to benefit as a wealth engineer, and this is something we do monthly, so we call it the Wealth Quest. And January's Wealth Quest is called Hit 2018 Sprinting, where we challenge you to bring 20 people into your business this month. 20. If you bring 20 people in the space of this month, before the end of the month, and everyone pays their debit orders successfully, we'll give you an extra 10,000 Rand on top of the rewards you're going to get. You'll probably be ranked 2 by that stage. You'll be earning 1,100 Rand at least in recurring income. Right? So you can do that in the space of the next 2 weeks that you have. We get asked the question, how does DuePoint afford this? This basically illustrates our business model. Traditional insurance companies, like the majority of insurance companies, they gain clients by doing advertising, right? We're all exposed to it, so we know. At DuePoint, we don't do any advertising. We don't spend a cent on marketing. And so you won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building because we depend on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about DuePoint, right? So it's referral marketing. It's one-on-one marketing. Very powerful form of marketing, network marketing. And so we don't have to spend the billions that the insurance industry spends on advertising. We can take that portion of our budget and attribute it to our XP and returns program for the benefit of you guys. Okay, so that basically illustrates our business model. We've got 3 products at DuePoint. They are all financial in nature. Their benefit is financial in nature. You are free to look at one product or all 3 products. That's a personal decision. Starting with Access Wealth, it is our investment product. It's called the Access Wealth Plan. It's 299 Rand a month, and you get a tax-free investment fund in which we'll deposit 100 Rand every month into that investment fund, and on top of that you'll get a little bit of insurance to the value of 110,000 Rand of personal accident cover. Okay, so this is our investment product. You can draw your investment out at any stage. You see that? There's no restriction. That means if you want to draw your investment out, you don't have to give us any notice. It takes us 72 hours to process your withdrawal. Okay, so fully flexible investment, and it's tax-free. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is purely an insurance product. It's 274 Rand a month. So this is strictly insurance, but you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover with this product. The beauty of our personal accident cover products is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18, because we don't profile you from a health risk point of view. We don't pay out for illness and natural causes. We pay out in event of death through accident. That means we can offer the product to anyone. You can be 70 years old. You can be diabetic. The premium is still 274, and you still get 1.1 million Rands worth of cover, right? So this is the great thing about this product. It becomes accessible to anybody. The third product is Wealth Points. The aim of Wealth Points is to save you money on the money that you spend every month anyway. So it's really a discounts program. It's 274 Rand a month, and we've engaged in all of these suppliers, these companies over here. We've negotiated discounts with them that we pass on to our Wealth Points members. So for 274 Rand a month, you can engage with any of those partners and get the discounts that are on offer. So the discounts vary with all of them. Always on Wi-Fi data, you get about 67% off. With most of the retailers, it's about 2.5% to 5% off. With some of the more specialized retailers, you get half price off of them. So go take a look at our website. We've got more information there. If you have any questions on the products, come speak to me. They've been designed to be straightforward, right? Tomorrow we've got training at 9 o'clock on our products. So if you want a full depth explanation of our products, be here tomorrow at 9 o'clock. What is the decision we need to make? For me, I like to sum it up blatantly as, are you willing to put up with what is required in this business to be successful? People often gloss over entrepreneurship. They try to romanticize entrepreneurship, right? Because from the outside, when we look at successful entrepreneurs, we see only the good stuff. We see the nice car they drive, the nice house they have, the nice clothes they're wearing, right? That's what we see, but we never get to see what's happening behind the scenes, really, because to be a successful entrepreneur is blood, sweat, and tears, right? It's people that are working crazy hours, sacrificing family time, doing things when they don't feel like it, going through the grinder to be successful. 5% of businesses succeed that start every year. Think about that. Brand new businesses, 5% only succeed. 95% of them fail. Here you're part of a successful business already. It's your choice whether you want to engage in this business, whether you want to commit time to it with the promise of what you saw today, the returns, the rewards, creating recurring income, and ultimately changing your circumstance and your destiny. That's the decision for me. You're left with your decision. How do you get started in this business? Very simply, read our code of conduct always. It's our contract that defines what you can and cannot do as a wealth engineer, and then apply or register as a wealth engineer. So you can do that online or on our mobile app. Very simple, takes about 7 minutes to become a wealth engineer, and then apply yourself to this business of building a channel, right? So look at our training. We've got a whole bunch of videos that will help you build your channels of distribution and help you understand what this business is all about. Set goals for yourself. Very underestimated task is setting goals. People just don't set tasks. Set yourself a task. Put a stick in the sand and say, that's where I want to be in 2 years' time. I want to be ranked 9 in 11 months, right? And then strategize, prepare a plan to get there. And then the simple task of speaking to people. That's all that's required in this business. Just telling people that DuePoint exists, that there's a business opportunity that they can engage in. That's all you're going to be doing. I'll do all the work up on stage for you. I don't even expect commission. Maybe every now and again you can buy me a sweet. I like sweets, chocolates. Okay, so we've got merchandise. Look at the merchandise. It's all on display in the merchandise cabinet. Please consider business cards. It's foremost for me. Right? It's such an important part of business, of doing business, is that you look professional, you behave professionally, and that part of that is having business cards. So look at those. Once you become a wealth engineer, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll tell you every time we load up a new video. It tells you every time a live stream's about to begin. And then download our mobile app. So the mobile app works on Android and Apple devices. So you need a smartphone to have this app. Once you download the app, update your profile photo. We'll give you 1,000 XP the moment you update your profile photo. Right? So the question is, how much XP do you need for rank 1? You need 1,000 XP for rank 1. There it is. One smile away. Right? As easy as that. Some don'ts that I like to highlight in the code of conduct. These are problems that we deal with constantly in our business, unfortunately. You cannot become a wealth engineer if you don't have the resources to be part of this business. Unfortunately, right? We criticize. People think, oh, we should be a charity. We should be helping the 10 million unemployed, the people that are burdened already. How do we help them? We can't. We can help them in a small way by empowering ourselves. So the people we want to empower are the people that have the resources to thrive in this business. So it goes without saying, if you cannot afford one of our products, you probably can't become a wealth engineer. If you don't have access to the internet and data, you cannot become a wealth engineer. If you don't have access to transport, you cannot become a wealth engineer. These are things that you need to do well in our business, and we want you to do well. Right? So consider this always when you go out and prospect other people. Don't just ask anyone off the street. You know, you'll have 10 million people at your door saying, oh, I want money. Right? Don't we all? Right? We're targeting people that have the resources to empower themselves in this business. Don't ever complete DuePoint application form on behalf of somebody else. It's a big problem for us. People are writing other people's details down and then capturing them on the app and online themselves. Right? You can't do that. It's actually fraudulent. It's illegal. The person that's becoming the wealth engineer has to do the application themselves because they are entering into contract with us. Right, so that's very important. Don't add direct family members. So it should be direct family members that live in your household. So it doesn't mean kids, your children that have left home already. It's the people in your household, your family that live with you in the house, that share the same cost of living. They can't be in your channel. Simple rule. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. This drives me absolutely crazy. Just don't do anything on Facebook as a rule of thumb. You can by all means tell people that you've joined a wonderful business and if anyone's interested, but you cannot go start a DuePoint Facebook page, right? You cannot represent us, our products, our third parties, any of it. You cannot do it. It's illegal. You're actually breaking FSB regulation. We suspend you immediately. Every single day we get a report of who's done what on social media. So just don't engage in social media. It doesn't work anyway. And then take responsibility for your prospects. Right? Treat them with respect and be professional about the way you treat them. We have people that arrive here saying, I met Bob on Facebook and he sent me to head office and said Rob or Brendan will take care of me. No, we don't do business like that, right? You need to look after every person that you bring into this business. Even though we've spent so much money investing in technology in this business, the business still works with personal relationship, right? Personal relationship. Get to know the person you're prospecting, understand their needs. Don't dictate to them. Treat them with respect. You'll build a much more sustainable business if you treat every person the same. Okay, so those are the don'ts. 10th of February, we've got an inaugural Converge Awards evening. It's invitation only and only for rank 4s and up. So it should be your motivation if you are rank 1, 2, or 3 to get to rank 4 as quickly as possible before the end of this month so you can get to this awards evening. As I said, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we have our product training. So it's our products dev seminar. We will be explaining the annual increase that is happening this year. So if you join today, you won't have an increase for the next 12 months. So it's a good thing to join in January, right? You get to save yourself that increase. But from February onwards, there's an increase, and then Brendan will go into in-depth review on each of the products. So if you can't make it, make sure that you download this later on YouTube. You need to know the products back to front. Even though you're not selling the products, you still need to answer questions. People will ultimately always ask questions around the products. Know the facts around products. Never in any aspect of business do you say to somebody, oh, sorry, I don't know. Right? There might be a learning curve at the beginning, but get through that learning curve as quickly as possible. We do this through our dev seminars. And that's it, guys. I thank you for your time. Friday lunchtime, I remind everybody, you get to choose what you do every single day this year. Right? We're at the beginning of 2018. I want to see these faces getting to rank 9 before the end of the year. Because half our rank 9s made it in less than a year. One gentleman made it in 5 months. Right? He sat in the presentation for the first time, and 5 months later he was rank 9. So it's possible. It's completely possible, but it's your decision always. A daily decision. So go out there, design what you want in this life. Only you can do it. Good luck. Have a good year. Thank you.